Today we're taking a long-term look at the Altra Olympus 6 after clocking over 600 kilometers on the trails. Let's talk about the things that I liked and what could be better. The usual disclaimer, I bought this shoe from my own money and all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Let's start with the things that I liked. First of all is the upper. I think that this upper, at least for me, is fantastic. It has great lockdown, it is breathable and has enough padding on the tongue. Overall, I can say it's a very good upper, especially compared to some other Altra models. I think it's the only shoe, in fact, that I do not change the insole to a thicker one because I had a really good lockdown. I really appreciate the wide laces, albeit a little bit short, to be honest, compared to the ones especially such as the Mont Blanc Speed and the Mont Blanc Carbon. They are thick and they can be tightened easily without digging or getting loose. The broad base provides excellent stability, especially during recovery runs when my ankles need it the most. The midsole is comfortable, even for long runs, maybe not the best. It's a normal EVA midsole, similar to the one you can find on the Flow and Experience Wild. However, it's a little bit heavier as a shoe overall. The midsole is firm, so if you don't like firm midsoles, maybe this shoe might not be for you. Don't imagine, because it has a high stack, it is a very plush ride. To be honest, I usually appreciate firm midsoles on our trails, that they are rocky and with sharp rocks and stones. It is protective too, as I said, especially when stepping on sharp rocks. The Megagrip outsole offers excellent grip on most terrains, I would say, and so far it is still attached to the bottom of the shoe, not like the one from the Altra Olympus 5, which came off after 150 kilometers. Durability, so far it has held up well across both the upper, the midsole and the outsole. No complaints in that department whatsoever. Now I'm gonna move to the things that I dislike. While breathable, the upper allows in fine dust around the toe box. If you look at the upper, it's all perforated, so all the dust, especially if you're running in the summertime in Malta where most of the trails are like a quarry, all the dust, sand, etc., especially the fine one, it can go into your shoe. The front gaiter, honestly, I don't know who came up with this idea, is tricky to almost impossible to latch. I think can be very frustrating, especially if the hook on the front gaiter is a little bit thick. The midsole, as I said, is a basic EVA foam. While protective, it does lack energy return. In addition, I do not think that it has an aggressive rocker, so it even might feel harder to run in, especially when you have tired legs. Especially now that I can compare it to the Topo Athletic Vista. They are very similar shoes, however, it is definitely much more enjoyable running in the shoe. They are both heavy, however, the midsole is slightly more responsive in this one, and the flow, maybe because of the slightly more aggressive rocker, it is much better in the Vista. The Olympus 6 definitely feels much more stable compared to the Vista, which is slightly plushier. As I said, the shoe is quite heavy, which can make you feel tired, especially your legs on long runs, 3-hour, 4-hour ones. You can start feeling the weight of the shoe. The Megagrip lugs, they are grippy in most conditions. However, when the terrain is loose, dusty, then I believe it struggles. I would prefer either the aggressive lugs on the long peaks or else something like the lugs on the Topo Athletic Vista. Overall thoughts about the Altra Olympus 6. I mainly use the Olympus 6 for long runs and easy runs. Due to its weight and rocker design, it offers good protection, but feels a little bit clunky over extended period of time. During Lavaredo, I noticed that there were some runners using it, so it clearly works for some. However, if you try several shoes, you might feel the difference. I think it really excels for those long days hiking on the trails more than running. My experience, of course, with better shoes probably influenced my choice. As I said, for example, I could run longer runs in the Topo Athletic Vista, and sometimes I even prefer the Long Peak 9 for longer runs over the Olympus 6. To be fair, Altra has improved from earlier iterations, at least for me it did work very well, so durability is no longer a concern, I believe. Compared to models like the Altra Mont Blanc Carbon or Speed, the Olympus 6 is not quite as impressive. I believe the dual density foams in those models offer a better option. Consider that the retail price of the Olympus 6 costs only €10 less than the Speed. I definitely would choose the Speed for everyday trail running, unless you need the original fit and maybe a more durable outsole. I know that recently Altra introduced the 275, which is a similar model to the Olympus 6 with a different upper. I am tempted to try it, to be honest, but my main concern is that the rocker and foam are still unchanged from this model, so I'm gonna give it a skip, maybe until there are new updates. For the time being, I'm gonna continue giving the Topo Athletic Vista a shot. Of course, I'll keep testing the other shoes, such as my Long Peak 9 Plus, which up to now already has covered over 200 kilometers with long runs of over 4 hours in that particular shoe. That was it for today. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below.